Well, it's that time again, lads and lasses, as we head down south for another game. And again, it is another Saturday game. Newcastle travel down to the capital. And this time, we are going to be taking on none other than Brentford, who have been doing really, really good on home soil this season. They are unbeaten in 9 home games since Newcastle beat them 4-2 in the win last season. And of course, we will be hoping to cause an upset tomorrow in the 3 o'clock non-televised game as we take them on at the G-Tech Community Stadium. We are undefeated in the Premier League against Brentford at the stadium. The only time we have lost at the G-Tech Community Stadium is when we played them in the League Cup back in 2020, of course, and we came away from that game with the defeat, of course. Looking at some of the players who are going to be concerns going into this game, and them are, of course, Joe Linton, Fabian Shaw, and, of course, Tonali, who are all one booking away from a suspension. So hopefully they don't go in too aggressive with their tackles on Saturday. And then on the injury side of things, pretty much the same that we've seen all season. Botman's still out, but there was a little bit of news from Eddie Howe in his press conference today saying that Botman, of course, he's doing well, he's fully training, he's done a couple of 11v11s, and he looks and feels good. It's all about rhythm for him now. It's a big boost having him in training. He's a big presence. Very certainly miss him. We've certainly missed him, sorry. And that's what Eddie said about Botman today in his press conference. And then, of course, there's been other talk as well on other players like Lascelles, who is still injured. He's going to be out for some time yet. Kraft, obviously, he came back but then got re-injured with a collarbone injury, so he's going to be out for some time. And Kieran Trippier is going to be a late decision made on Trippier, whether or not he will be able to play in the game. But even if he is fit, I think, to be honest, he will be sitting on the bench. I mean, Tino Livramento has been fantastic in that role right back. And, I mean, Kieran Trippier isn't going to be able to just come straight back into the side and take that role back. He's going to have to work for it, and he's going to be pushed hard to work for it as well when he does eventually get fit, because, like I say, Livramento has been fantastic in that role, as has Lewis Hall on the left back role as well. So 2 roles that are definitely sewn up for them. But like Eddie always says, you know, nobody is guaranteed a place in the team. You do have to work for it. But Tino Livramento and Halsey definitely showing that they deserve them positions in the team. And looking at the Brentford side of things, of course, Brentford lost 3-1 in their most recent match against Aston Villa. Their away form, however, they've only picked up 1 point from 21 possible points this season on the road. Luckily for them, this is a home game. Unbeaten, of course, like I just said, in 9 home games since we beat them 4-2 last season at the G-Tech, and no clean sheets in those 9 home games, however, so they do concede goals, which is a good positive for us going into the game, because we want to go in there and, you know, get 3 points, push ourselves up, especially when you consider how close the league is. When you look at, you know, 13th all the way up to 5th, there's only about a 4-point gap there. So if you can get a nice run going, then there will be a chance, you know, of pushing into them European places. This season, however, Brentford's home record in the Premier League of 6 wins, 1 draw and 22 goals scored is the best in the division, of course. And the referees for the game are Tim Robinson, which it's the first time he has reffed a Newcastle United game this season. But, of course, he was a referee for Newcastle's games in the 23-24 season quite a bit, including 3 resounding home wins and, of course, the 3-0 loss at Everton. But hopefully he will be a much better ref than what we had to just go with in the last match against Liverpool. I mean, we're coming into this game on a massive high after a fantastic game against Liverpool, in a game where we should have really come away the winners against Liverpool, especially with that whole controversial moment of the ref blowing the whistle, as it was 3-2 or 3-1, as some people were saying, you know, and we should have really come away from that game with the 3 points in the bag. So we will be determined to get 3 points this time around against Brentford, and make up for the 3 points that we didn't get against Liverpool. On VAR, it is Jared Gillette, the Aussie Scouser, on VAR. He has already presided over Newcastle's games this season, and hopefully, you know, he doesn't get too involved in the game. I mean, getting a little sick of seeing VAR getting involved in Newcastle's games. It's okay, you know, if they need to be involved, but when they're just sticking their nose in when it's not needed, that is when they start, you know, getting a little annoyed, because it does slow the game down. It does, you know, take away the momentum from in the game, and it really makes the game, you know, drag along as well. You know, people want to enjoy the game. You want to, you know, enjoy the performance, and you don't get to do that when you've got somebody on VAR who is literally just dragging the game along because they just keep wanting to interfere in the game when they're not needed. But that's my thoughts anyway on that. Like I say, this is going to be an interesting one. Really good game. We've got a positive record, as you've heard by the stats there, going into this one. So let's add to that. Let's come away from the G-Tech Community Stadium on Saturday in that 3 o'clock kickoff time slot, and let's pick up 3 points, push ourselves up the table, because at the moment we are currently on 20 points, and we currently preside 12th in the Premier League. So whatever happens with the other results, you know, we'll end the day off with 23 points. If the results go in our favour, we can go up pretty high in the league. I mean, 8th place at the minute. Aston Villa's got 22 points. So we could go anywhere from 12th up to 9th, maybe even further than that, you know. So let's just try and go into the game, do what we did in the game against Liverpool. If we do what we did in the game against Liverpool, then I am 100% certain we can come away with the positive result here and pick up all 3 points down at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. However, lads.